Ve al salón escarlata del primer piso. A ver, ¿dónde está el primer piso? Epa, ¿puedo entrar acá?
President George Washington.
Let no one disturb me. I'm busy.
Too bad. I'll see him later.
Ok. Esto no sé de quién es.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Colonel Piaggi.
Nada. Esta es mía. Acá no puedo hacer nada. Acá está el tontito este barriendo que no me va a dejar bajar.
That must be the door to the room of the soldier I saw in my vision.
Esto no lo puedo hacer.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
Napoleón. Acá tampoco puedo entrar. Llave semicircular.
Two leaves out of an old encyclopedia.
Ok. Acabo de encontrar una llave porque sí. Ok, tengo que subir por acá. Acá no puedo entrar. Acá no puedo entrar. Y acá estoy pegando ya toda la vuelta. Bueno. Obviamente no puedo bajar. Tengo que subir al salón del primer piso. Me sirve. Si me deja interactuar, obviamente. ¿What? ¿No es por acá? ¿No es por acá? ¿Dónde? ¿Cómo subo? Ve al salón escarlata del primer piso. ¿Yo en qué piso estaba? Oh.
Excuse me, Monsieur de Richet. I really need to talk to you.
Is this about last night?
No, that was just a misunderstanding. I'm sure it was a little bit my fault too.
There's no excuse for that man's horrible behavior. You ought to tell Sir Home.
Look, the only thing that I care about is that I've lost something precious. I'm not worried about Jacques Peru.
You didn't happen to lose this, did you?
Where did you find it?
In the small salon.
It's the only reminder I have of my beloved sister. I thought that swine stole it from me.
No me da otra opción.
You're her son, Sarah de Richet's son.
Yes. Why?
Last night, I found out that your mother was on the island. What are you doing here?
My mother came here to do business with Lord Mortimer, but she seems to have gone missing. So I'm here to find her.
I know your mother very well.
Really?
Yes, I have been in your mother's care ever since I was born.
She nursed you?
Oh, I wouldn't say nursed. No. I remember her stare, cold as ice. Her sadistic hands pressing over my mouth to silence me while I screamed in pain. I remember her knees, too. She held me down with them while she cut and burned scars into me.
Hold on a minute. What do you mean?
You can ask her when you see her.
Huh, she's getting more and more agitated.
What the fuck? ¿Qué onda con la vieja que la
And
torturaba?
next you're gonna tell me my mother's also responsible for that scar on your head?
My heart stopped twice during the operation. I lost my memory for 6 months. You obviously have no idea of the abuse your mother inflicted on me.
Wait. There must be some kind of mistake.
My only mistake was ever meeting your mother.
She's able to describe every detail without hesitation or getting flustered. It's becoming difficult not to believe the poor girl.
Look, I've got to go.
Wait. I need to know more about you and my mother. Why did she put you through all of that? There must be some reason for what she did.
What's the point of rubbing salt in the wounds?
You're right. I don't want this conversation to turn into an interrogation. You've suffered enough already. I respect your silence. Please excuse me.
Well, thank you.
Bien, bien.
I know your little game. You're no different from the rest of them. You couldn't give a damn about me. The only thing you're interested in is finding out about your mother.
Don't say that. Not everyone wants to use you. Some people care about you, don't they? Haven't you got a sister?
Yes.
I'm sure she loves you with all her heart.
She's the only one who cares about me. I would have put an end to it all by now if it weren't for her.
Bien.
Since you insist, I'll tell you how I met your mother.
Bien, bien. Ya me la gané. Ya me la gané.
You see, before I was born, my mother often suffered from hallucinations and fits of anger. Soon people could barely recognize her. She became a completely different person. So my father spent an enormous amount of money paying for the best doctors, but none of them were able to cure her. The last resort was to call a priest.
So, is that what your father did?
No. He went to an expert in the occult.
Ah, my mother.
Her reputation already extended beyond our borders. My mother's fits stopped at my birth, and Sarah de Richet concluded that the evil had passed into me. Not only did it encourage her to stay, but she took the opportunity to advise my father to separate me from the rest of my family. That's how I was declared stillborn. My fate was decided that very day.
It would coincide with my mother's frequent trips to America.
I had my first fit when I was 3. That's when your mother began her experiments to rid me of the evil inside.
I understand how you feel, but I know my mother. I'm sure she had her reasons, even if it seems difficult to believe.
Everything she put me through was all for nothing. My whole life was ruined for nothing.
So what brings you here then?
My father used to know Sir Holm. He offered to introduce me to the world's leading authority in the occult.
Lord Mortimer.
He was my last hope. Until I found out he had also invited your mother.
It's got to be a coincidence. I don't believe for a second she's come here for you.
You can't change my mind about this, Louis. My days are numbered, and I know it.
Ahí va la pechos. Bueno, a ver, acabo de conseguir información para Washington. También. Creo que me sirve. Bien. Por acá no puedo pasar. Por acá no veo nada. Nada.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
I would like to speak about your master, Lord Mortimer.
Do please excuse me, sir, but I shall make no comment about my master. Is there anything else that sir would like to know?
What can you tell me about the guests?
Do excuse me, sir, but I am bound by discretion to say nothing about Lord Mortimer's guests, sir. Perhaps sir would like to know something else?
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
What's that book you're hiding in your jacket?
The Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe, sir. And I am not hiding it.
Hand it to me, please.
It is damaged, sir. I would never dare lend sir a book in such a pitiful state, sir. I took it to restore.
Indeed, this masterpiece must not become more damaged. Let me have it and I'll take care of it personally. I love antiquarian books.
It bothers me somewhat. It isn't sir's job to take care of it, really.
No, but I would love to. You'll be doing me a favor by letting me have it.
In that case, sir, I shall leave it in your care with pleasure. May I do anything else for sir?
Bien. Acabo de conseguir algo por lo menos. Me voy a tomar un coso de estos. Porque necesito más puntos. Acá me puedo sentar. Cosa que no voy a hacer. Y diría que ya está, ¿no? Listo, ya está. ¿A dónde tengo que ir yo? Esta gente entró allá. Yo estaba hablando en la escalera y la gente entró acá.
Dear friends, I bid you welcome. I hope the night was not too short. Your Eminence, Duchess, Monsieur de Richet, allow me to introduce our new guests. They arrived during the night. Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs and close aide of Frederick William II, King of Prussia. Napoleon Bonaparte, Lieutenant of the French Revolutionary Army. And Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. Unfortunately, my friends, Lord Mortimer will not be joining us this morning, but he should be with us later. So, let us begin.
What is Mortimer playing at? He tells me to come urgently and he sends no one to meet me?
Well, how very amusing.
And right he was too.
Pardon?
Thank you again for the wine,
¿Cómo?
Your Eminence. It is served every day at the King's table.
I am delighted to hear.
Volner and Piaggi seem to be getting along well.
My dear Johann, how are you?
Glad to make landfall at last. And yourself?
Very well.
And your husband?
He's poorly. The French Revolution gives him terrible headaches.
Oh, I understand. I shall feel better too, as soon as the situation is settled.
If by chance the French crisis is emulated in Berlin, there will always be a refuge for you in London, my dear.
Your offer does you honor, Eminence. But London is much closer to Paris than Berlin. Beware. The French are capable of sailing up the Thames straight to the Houses of Parliament.
Oh, my friend, I am shaking in my clogs.
Ja,
Is
ja,
the
ja, ja.
wine to your liking?
Very much so, Sir Gregory. Such complexity. Typically French. A Sauternes, isn't it?
Absolutely.
If I'm not mistaken, this is not Lord Mortimer's favourite wine. It is yours.
In his absence, I have taken the liberty of making a slight deviation from the rule, but I count on your discretion.
Don't worry, I appreciate the same grape varieties as you. I remember the last time we tasted that nectar here at this table. The finest minds of the century were present.
And the last time we drank it, the orphanage in Bloomsbury was still in ruins.
Would you repeat that?
Oh, well, I put some small effort into the works. The orphanage reopened just before Christmas. The bedrooms, washrooms, and the classrooms had all been refurbished.
I don't know what to say. You have given the girls a wonderful Christmas gift. Thank you.
I made a promise. Now it is done.
It's the first time I've ever seen her so moved. Just mention that orphanage broke right through Emily's hard shell.
Is everything all right?
Yes, thank you. I had a moment of absence, but here I am again.
My lord, I only know the prestige of your name. Might I have the honor of getting to know you a little better?
You are Monsieur
Louis Moras de Richet.
de Richet. De Richet. A name with a nobiliary particle. Are you descended from a noble line?
The presence of a particle does not necessarily mean a person belongs to the nobility, nor does it prevent the observance of the rules of etiquette, Monsieur von Bonner.
My friend.
Have you
¿Ya
any
está?
information on this Napoleon?
What do you want to know? That's right.
He's certainly well connected and in high places.
Surprising. No one appears to know him.
No one knows me, and yet here I am.
Quite so.
Monsieur de Richet, it would seem we have common interests. Could we speak in private, please?
¿Qué quiere Napoleón? Mala parte. Uy, no te pares ahí, amigo, que te va a pegar un empujón este.
Lord Mortimer and the Golden Order, through your mother, have concluded a financial agreement.
Stay composed, Louis. I'm listening.
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother. You must know that I am deeply sorry about their disappearance, but I must validate the deal urgently if I want to be able to organize things properly.
It is remarkable.
I haven't seen Lord Mortimer yet. I'm afraid I'll be unable to answer your questions.
He assured me that you could replace your mother during her absence.
I appreciate his confidence, but still, this is a bit hasty. But please continue.
Of course, but I need to know if I can count you among my allies.
¡Ay, Dios!
And for that, I have a little question for you. The agreement stipulates an aid of 50,000 louis d'or for 200 cannons.
Surely such an amount will buy twice as many cannons. Don't try to pull a fast one on me. We're both young, but we are not naive.
Please don't be offended. I just wanted to make sure you knew what you were talking about. And I am reassured. I have one last question I would like to pose to you. We don't know each other yet, you and I. And I need to make sure that we both share the same vision for the future of France. Given the hard times that have befallen our beautiful country, what do you think it would take to restore its luster?
Let the people make their own choices.
You are joking, I hope. The people are simply not capable of taking charge, don't you see? They are an uneducated mob who react on the spur of the moment, incapable of providing a coherent vision for the good of the country.
The revolution was a good thing, but it gave birth to a monster. We must overthrow the new system in place.
Ah, you are right. Monsieur de Richet, I am reassured. I am very happy to have met
O sea, es que es un quilombo
Lord
esto.
Mortimer was right to put his trust in you. I hope to work with you in the very near future. I would like to thank you for your support by offering you this humble little gift.
Reflections on the Revolution in France.
Mr. Bonaparte, I thank you for this gesture, and please know that I, too, am delighted to have met you.
Claro, es que tengo que pensar como pensaría una persona de esa época.
I would like to say a few words, please. I would like to thank Lord Mortimer and you, Sir Holm, for bringing us all together here. Those of us for whom it is not the first time here, like me, are all trembling in sweet anticipation of the arrival of our host. For the rest, I would like to reassure you that Lord Mortimer always has a few surprising projects to propose. But I can assure you that each and every one of us has always benefited from them. The last time I came to this place, Lord Mortimer offered to help me in my electoral campaign for the presidency of the United States. And it is imminently clear that his support was an invaluable aid to us. We are here among like-minded people. So let us put aside the conflicts in which some of our nations find themselves at present. So I raise my glass in honor of you all, my new and old friends.
I trust you shall not be disappointed, Mr. Washington.
Washington is a very gifted speaker. Leave him for 5 minutes with sworn enemies and he'll convince them to be friends for life.
Right, we shall meet again tomorrow. All the guests will be present, as well as Lord Mortimer, I hope. Until then, I trust you will find plenty to keep you amused.
Ok. Ahora, Lord Mortimer, nada. No figura el viejo guacho este. A ver, 3. Vino y cañones. Superé un montón de cosas. Fallé. Pero he manchado un fragmento. Ah, el libro. Fallé la parte del libro. Bien, subimos de nivel. 4 puntos disponibles. Necesitaría subir algo en política. De este lado tendría que subir, ¿no? Protocolo. Fuah, es que claro, puedo subir todo. Manifiesta tu opinión respecto a la situación geopolítica. Mira, me voy a meter en política acá. Como para que me sirva. Esto por lógica ya lo tendría, ¿no? Persuasión. Lingüística. Traduce todo tipo de documentos y conversaciones en otros idiomas. Distrae la atención de la gente. Mantén al día los conocimientos científicos, técnicas y médicas. Disfruta de un sólido brebaje. Confía en tus conocimientos sobre mitos, símbolos religiosos, ocultismo, lenguas muertas y bla bla bla. Manipulación. Haz que otras personas actúen de acuerdo a tus propios intereses. Esta me sirve. Ya no tengo más puntos. Vale.
Alright, let's recap. Before dinner, I was going to investigate my mother's message. I've got to find the place where all eyes size you up.
Ok. Las penas del joven Werther. Pensamientos sobre la Revolución Francesa. Vidas paralelas. Vamos a, no sé, leer esta. Muy bien. A ver qué encontramos. Si encuentro algo de utilidad. Que me pueda llevar, no me puedo llevar nada. Busca el lugar mencionado.
The lock is surrounded by a triple circle.
Ok. ¿Esto qué es? Un abrojo. ¿Qué más? ¿Algo más tengo que encontrar?
This painting has caused some debate. Who did Dosi paint? Alcina the fairy or Circe the magician?
Nada.
Discourse on the Method by Descartes. Circe preparing wine. What better trap for you?
Me encanta cómo estaba todo lleno de mariposas, ¿viste? O sea, re cualquiera. Por acá entré. Yo entré por acá. Vinimos a sentarnos a esta mesa. Lo que debería ser... Epa, y este no estaba acá antes.
Well, Your Eminence, do you still have any room left?
Ah, my son, the sin of gluttony is the most difficult of all in my eyes. Nevertheless, what a charming moment we have had together. I'm delighted I was able to talk to Mr. von Wollner. We hadn't spoken to each other for an eternity.
Yes. I noticed that Your Eminence knew a fair number of people at the table.
The benefit of age, my son. this isn't my first invitation to Lord Mortimer's. You will see, it's the perfect place to make new friends. Indeed, I noticed that you and Mr. Bonaparte had already begun.
Ah, I adapt quickly to local customs. It's what I was taught.
And you are right to do so, my son. But tell me, have you had any news of your mother since your arrival?
Alas, still nothing, Your Eminence. But I still haven't been able to meet Lord Mortimer.
Do not worry. It is typical of him. What can I say? Lord Mortimer is a very busy man. I should think you are beginning to worry.
Seguramente.
Well, I must admit, Your Eminence, indeed it does worry me.
I understand, but continue to have faith in Sarah. You'll see, I'm sure, that in a few days we'll all be laughing together.
That's all I hope for, Your Eminence. But while I have you with me, I have a question for you.
Go ahead, Louis. What can I do for you?
As I haven't visited all the manor yet, I wondered if you hadn't seen a Medusa by any chance.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, la Gorgogne, the Medusa from Greek mythology. Would you have seen one in any shape or form?
Not at all, my son. I'm not sure what you're getting at, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be of any use to you.
Thank you anyway, Your Eminence. I won't take up any more of your time. On that last word, then I shall leave you to fight your demons. See you later, Your Eminence.
See you later, my son.
Podría haber aprovechado para preguntarle. A ver, acá se ve todo. Literalmente. No veo ninguna medusa. No. Ok. Este viejo sigue acá. Supongo que me puedo ir por este lado. Esto no lo puedo abrir. Esto me lo llevo. Llave con el símbolo de la tierra. Apa, con el símbolo de la tierra redondo, ¿verdad? What? ¿Dónde mierda estoy?
Atrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
Jalea.
A few pages out of an old encyclopedia.
Buscar el lugar mencionado por mi madre. ¿Alguna pintura de Medusa, capaz?
Where all eyes size you up. Chances are, that's the room my mother spoke of.
And she also spoke of a Medusa. Should I go and try to find the creature now?
Ok.
Allegory regarding the decoration of the rights of men. That's the least you could say.
Medusa.
Liberty or death? Ah, painting by Ingres. Molière dining with Louis XIV.
¿Puedo salir? ¿Puedo salir? No.
His posture is surprising. It's almost as if he's addressing someone in the assembly.
Jesucristo. A ver. Medusa, ¿dónde estás? Bueno, me cago con el plano con esta mierda acá adelante que no veo nada. Medusa. No la veo.
A meeting between Louis XIV and Philippe the Company. A fragment of amber. The Fall of Phaeton. Another painting by Rubens. Ah, Francois' Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near. His brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything.
Son perros.
A painting with no name.
Un cuadro sin... ¡No! Medusa. Una caja. Encontré a Medusa. ¿Listo, Orti?
I've got to find out what Mother was trying to do with her. The Medusa.
Partirse en la cabeza a Lord Mortimer.
Armed with a sword.
El pitito.
A hero with a lantern. And the last one holding a shield. I'll stake my life on it. All the statues form a single scene together. The poor devils are about to face the beast. Let's give them a helping hand.
What?